Alright, so if you were ever wondering what the little short video at the beginning was, it was all about the Mi 8 Pro's rear, which in this case is transparent, and you can see some of the fake components. But it also gives you an insight as to what Xiaomi is trying to say with this phone, and it's giving out a lot of details if you take a closer look. So it might be a little blurred at certain points, but I hope you can understand it. And if you haven't bought a Mi 8 Pro yet, go to the Xiaomi store and have a look at the back so you can understand some of what's going on. But I'll try and explain as much as I can. Alright, so over there, that is MIUI 10, which is the most recent version of Xiaomi's user interface. Then over here, that is where the dual cameras are. And it just gives the specs of the pixel size and the CMOS sensor that's on the cameras. The next one is over here, which is the Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, and it's not really the real one that you're seeing right there. The real one's actually inside, but quite a good fake version of it, I must add myself. Then, just to the right of that, over there, is the FQ1157 and the FQ1176, which are the GPS dual frequencies, the L5 and L1, which is supposed to be better and more accurate GPS signaling when you're driving to find your location. Not too sure about that, but you can do more research on that for yourself. Then over here at the bottom, over there is the, like I say, it's going to be a bit blurry at times, right over there. That is the Samsung UFS 2.1, which is the flash storage that they're using on this phone. Then over there is a small French lettering which says L'Evre Future, which was a science fiction novel written by French writer Auguste Villiers de Elias Adams in 1886, which describes the device as dubbed as a machine-like Android system. Never heard about the book, but I guess there is reference to it. Then over here is the hashtag A4C639, which is the RGB color code for Android green. I don't have that color, but you know Android green if you follow Android specifically. Then further up here are the GPS coordinates 116.32 and 40.05, which is Xiaomi's new campus. And over there is a weird sort of writing which says sincerity, passion, which is the core values of Xiaomi. Over here, further down at the bottom, is another saying which says, always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. And that is Xiaomi's tagline. These coordinates over here, these three coordinates over here, is 17.00, 1810.HK, 2018 0709. And that is on July the 9th, 2018, when Xiaomi was listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And it has a stock code of 1810HK, and that represents that the share started per sale for 17 Hong Kong dollars. Interesting, I didn't know that either. Then if you scroll a little bit further down here, it says innovation over there. That says innovation for everyone, and that is the vision of Xiaomi. Okay, a little bit further up here is a number which says MI-081225, and that is the Mi 8 Pro identity number. Each phone comes with a unique number. So if you got the phone, check it out, and if you don't have the phone, you can have that unique number once you got the phone, I guess. Alright, then the next one is a little bit over here, and that is 5%, which is Xiaomi's promise to users that the net profit margin on hardware would never exceed 5% overall. I don't know how true that is, but you can get Xiaomi devices for reasonably good prices. Because after all, it's a software company, an internet company, not really a hardware manufacturer. Then over there, that is 132DDE0, and that is a hexadecimal number that converts to the number 20110816, which was the launch date of Mi 1. I don't even remember when that was actually, but it's 2011 according to these figures. Alright, then we have to scroll down to the bottom of the phone. Okay, these numbers over here. I'll try and keep the phone steady, because that number is the first number we're going to hit over here, and that is the MI-719-16511, and that is the Chinese telegraphic code of Lei Zun, which is Xiaomi's founder and CEO. So they've put his details on the phone, and you'll have it there for as long as you have the phone. Over here, just below over there is 132B536, and that is again a hexadecimal number that converts to the number 20100406, which is Xiaomi's founding date, 2010 April 06. And the big comment below here is, be the coolest company in the hearts of our users. That is Xiaomi's mission. And next to that over there is MLC1226CHI. Now the MLC stands for Martin Lawrence Cooper, who is the inventor of the mobile phone. And 1226 is Martin Lawrence Cooper's birth date. And CHI, as I'm sure you can guess, is Martin Lawrence Cooper's place of birth. Interesting. There's just a whole lot of data you didn't know, right? The next one next to that, over there, is W3:TB-L. And W3 stands for the World Wide Web. Told you it's a software company. And TB-L is Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the W or the WWW or the World Wide Web. And lastly, but not completely, is this one over here, which says Mi fans. Okay, so there you can see it all very clearly. And as I scroll up again, you can see innovation for everyone. And as I go further up again, there are all the details at the back of your Mi 8 Pro.
Today's video is sponsored by this peanut soup with milk. Try it. You'll surely enjoy the nice flavor of the peanuts. If you don't believe me, there it says peanut soup with milk. It has a handy cap, and inside the cap you will find a disposable spoon that is foldable and closes. So opens quite nicely, and you can use this to eat your peanuts with milk. Buy it today, or try to enjoy it today. Okay, you can put it back. I'm gonna have any now because we've got to review the Xiaomi Mi 8 Pro. That's for later entertainment. Alright, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about the Mi Mate. No, we're not. We're talking about the Xiaomi Mi 8 Pro. And really, folks, this is one great looking phone. It's a fingerprint dust resistant phone. No, I'm lying totally, it's not. This thing catches dust and fingerprints like no other. So whatever pictures, detailed pictures I'm going to show you in this video, you're surely going to see a lot of dust and fingerprints. So excuse that. But I'm going to show you the quirks and features of this phone. It really has a lot of quirks and features. It's a great phone to use. I would highly recommend it based on my month or so of using it. But I'm going to look at the outside as usual. The inside, as you can see, I'm trying to get the dust off. And I'm using this blue background here so you can get a good feel of what this phone looks like. So first off, let's go over some of the outside hardware spec and features of this phone, and then of course we'll look at the insides. Okay, so we're going to start off this review by looking at the back of this phone. It's really important because all the quirks and features hangs on the balance of this rear part of the phone, basically because there hasn't been a manufacturer who's come out with a back like this in a long time. And it's basically showing some of the innards of the phone, but fake innards. So what you're seeing here is basically all the stuff that is supposedly in the phone, but you're looking at the fake side of it. So I'm just going to zoom in into some of the stuff so you can see more clearly and get a better idea of what we're going to look at. Some of the wordings might surprise you for a normal native English speaker, but if you can just go with the flow, I think Xiaomi is trying to get the message across here that this phone is kind of premier and it's got some style. I really can't say to that or read more into it, but let's look at it. I mean, come on. We're looking at some of the quirks and features of the phone. So I'm going to give you a Android Dumpling score as usual and tell you something about it. So first off, let's go in and look at what we can see here. Just taking it off, and some of this stuff is pretty evident of what we have in the English language format. So we're looking at the bottom of the phone, and here you can see to the left side it has sort of on the chipset there it says, "Be the coolest company in the hearts of our users." I'm so touched. Any case, that's what it says there. And if you go to the right side, there is some gadgetry there, and some more mentions of some details. And if you slide up or you go further up, slide up, my goodness, what am I saying? Okay, I'm focusing in the middle of the phone. You will see that it says there, "Innovation for everyone." Yes, not with that voice, but I guess they wanted to make a bold statement in the middle of the phone by saying innovation is for everyone and that it's good. Furthermore, if you go further up, there'll be some more wording that says, "Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen." So when you pick up your Mi 8 Pro phone every day and look at the back of it, you're always going to have that thought at the back of your mind to always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. Hey, we could change the world with just the Mi 8 Pro. No, that's from me. Any case, also there, on the top side there, the camera you're viewing right now is the top left, all right? And to the right of that is the Snapdragon 845 chipset, supposedly. And then you'll also see a message that reads, "Sincerity, passion." Now I'm not going to say anything about it. I'll leave it up to you in the comments to say something. But sincerity, passion? I wonder. Do you have passion for this phone, folks? Well, go to the store and find it out, or order it online, or do whatever way you want to get hold of this phone. But sincerity, passion? I'm just not feeling it. And then, just above the Snapdragon chipset, there is a few numbers, which reads 116.32.40-05. Now, there is no great significance in that to the natural eye, but if you look a little bit further and dig a little bit deeper, as we do here at Android Dumpling, those are the coordinates to find the offices in Beijing. Really? Is it? I'm not really sure. I mean, you could try it out. Just plug it into Google and see if you can find it. Or if you're living in Beijing, see if you can use Baidu. But there you go. You can try and find those coordinates. I would think that the 0.5 at the back would refer to the 5% profit margin Xiaomi takes on every product. And it's proud of that. But I'm not really sure, and I don't have any evidence to prove that. There also on the back of the screen, you will see that it says MIUI 10, which is the MIUI 10 OS, which they are using on this phone. It's not using Android Pie, it's using Android Oreo, I think. So I think later they would upgrade to that Android Pie, but let's see if they do something for that nature. And then further along, and finally, you would see another quirk there, which is the 123 DDEO, and that refers quite strangely to the August the 16th, 2011, which was when the first Mi smartphone line was created. I can't really comment on this because I don't know the history of Xiaomi, but I would think and I would assume that August the 16th, 2011 was the first time they created this phone, or the Mi line. Lastly, and not kept for last, is a French comment there that says Le Ver, future, which means future eve. And that is the name of a fiction novel by Auguste Villiers de Lille. Now, he wrote this book in 1886, and it was, I think it was a story about an android robot? Really? 1886? They were thinking about android robots already? I'm not really sure about that one. But anyway, you can do your research. And again, I'll try and leave some of the description details in the description of this video for you to find out more. But it's an interesting quirk, I must say, to put it right there. And I don't know how many Mi 8 Pro buyers will actually look at these things and say, I need to read that book right now from Auguste de Villiers de Lille. A dance. That's his real name. Any case, these are just some of the quirks and features of the back of the phone. There's not much to say about the front of the phone, but the reason why you're buying this phone is because it's got this geeky look of the hardware underneath, right? Should you buy it for that reason? All geeks out there, go out and get it. Come on, get it. Any case, this is good enough, and I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 dumplings for this, primarily because, well, they attempted and tried something, and at least they tried, and it looks good, and so I'm going to give them a good score for this, only because they tried, and that it looks nice and snappy. Also, that look, you can see the dust clearly is there if you zoom in later on, but because of all this, I'm going to give it a good score, and you can make the decision for yourself. Okay, now something about the rest of the outside of the phone. Over here it's got the volume controls, and that's volume up, volume down, and it's got an accent power button, red power button, so you can know when to turn on your Mi 8 Pro. It's also got a red accented feature here at the back, which allows for the USB Type-C port over here, and then of course it's got the speakers and the microphone as well. Nothing on this side other than, yes, there you can see over here there is the tray for the SIM slots, and on top you have the IR blaster, and I'll go back down again. Don't know if you noticed, there's no headphone jack. My last review of the Mi Max 3, there was a headphone jack. This one doesn't have a headphone jack. It has a little dongle, as I showed you in the unboxing of the Mi 8 Pro. This is the dongle. It's a little bit flimsy, like I said, and it just fits over here. I think it's good for now. It's good to go. Don't know which way it should go, up or down, because it can fit both ways. But if you're going to use your wired earphones, headphones, you're going to be walking around with this. Okay. I don't know if you really like that. You can always try the Bluetooth headphones. And I'll actually demo it with the Bluetooth headphones I bought last time with this. Okay. But it's actually got quite a, it feels quite premium, I must admit. This transparent titanium backing, casing, whatever you want to call it, is really gives it this premium feeling. And I would give it another 8 out of 10, just because the feeling is good. It's sturdy, it's solid, you can hold it in your hand, and there's no fingerprint reader at the back, because obviously they've got this fake components at the back, but a steady phone as such. And then of course it's got the, well, I might as well explain to you, because that's the fake Snapdragon 845 flagship chipset. It's a 2.8 gigahertz Qualcomm Adreno, so it's a pretty good chipset. And then of course it's got 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, so it's coming in at the premium level. So I know you've heard all these specs from other guys, but just listen up. It's got these specs because I think this, and I'm gonna say it now, newsflash, this is the OnePlus 6T killer. It's got the same stuff as the 6T Plus, or no, it doesn't have the same things as the McLaren version, but it has the same things as the OnePlus 6T. I think this is just as good, but more about that later. All right. Then it's got a 6.21 AMOLED display. All right. And the great thing about this AMOLED display is, I'll show you some of the things later, but it's got a 402 ppi, 600 nits. So the brightness level on this thing is pretty strong. I mean, you could go blind with it, but actually I've started to get a condition in my eye where my eye is starting to tear. Maybe I should turn the brightness level down. Any case, 220, 2248 by 1080 FHD, so the screen is really good. It supports always on display mode, color temperature, sunlight mode, reading mode, blah 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 blah, and also supports HDR display. Then we look at the camera. It's got an ultralight sensitive AI camera. Now everybody wants to say that they've got AI, but unless you've got the AI chip on board, you're not going anywhere. All right. So I'm going to give kudos to this camera in several ways, and I'll show you and explain later. But I think the biggest thing to look for and to look into here is the fact that this camera at the back scored 99 on the DxO Mark benchmark report or whatever. I don't go by benchmarks purely for the cases that each person has their own individual experience with taking photos, whether they be in natural light, whether it be with lights on, in the dark, or even taking video. Everybody's got their own opinion. So if you base your story on a DxO Mark report, then hey, go by it. But if not, the photos I've taken on this phone, you really get some good solid colors coming out. The greens are solid green, and the other colors are all sharp. If I would compare it to the Mi Max 3, it's on a similar level, but this is a good camera. So it's got 12 megapixel wide angle lens, and then it's got a 4-axis optical stabilizer with an f-stop 1.8. So that's a good camera as is. And then it's got another camera at the bottom here, which is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, which allows you to take portrait pictures, and f-stop's 2.4. So it's really good cameras that you're getting for a reasonably good price. Now, I haven't spoken about price yet. I think I bought this phone for just under $500, or around about $500. So I think it's got some premium spec. And not top of the range flagship phone spec, but it's got premium spec. Good enough to say, hey, I can use this phone on a day-to-day basis and use it as my driver. All right. So some of the things about this rear camera is that it's got portrait mode with background blurring. I'll show you again my mugshot later. It's got dual pixel autofocus, which allows you to focus more clearly on your subject matter. It's got optics stabilizer, and basically what that allows you to do is that when you're walking and taking video or something like that, it stabilizes the camera so it doesn't become jittery and you don't need a dongle. It's got a single tone flash, then it's got low light enhancements, which means that for your night images, without using the flash, you can get some clearer photos. I wouldn't say as good as the Google Pixel 3, but good enough. Come on, this is half the price for the Google phone. So anyway, it's got panoramic mode, burst mode, facial recognition, and AI Beautify. Now the face recognition and the AI Beautify I will cover in the security part, which most probably will either be at the beginning or the end of this video, but you can make the security decision for yourself, or the AI face recognition decision for yourself. Look, some of it's still gimmicky. Some people are actually using it. It's totally up to you. But for that purpose, I would give this phone a 6 or 7 out of 10 dumplings, just because it's got these features, which is the same features as any flagship phone. All right. So the AI ability in this phone, with the Snapdragon 845, you can detect 25 different categories and up to 206 different scenes. I'm not too sure about that because I haven't tested all of it. It's got AI studio lighting, AI short video editing, and AI high-res photos. Everybody putting AI in front of it, and for that, I would downgrade it, like I said to you, to a 6 or 7 dumplings, purely because everybody's talking about AI. All right, then there is the video, which is 4K at 30 frames per second. 10K, or sorry, not 10K, it's 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 30 frames per second, and then it also offers slow motion, and slow motion, I'll be able to show that later to you as well. And then, because it doesn't have the fingerprint reader at the back, it's got this fingerprint in-screen sensor, and I'm going to show you that in the security section, just to show you if it's good or not. And by the way, the in-screen fingerprint sensor is also available on the OnePlus 6T. And come on, why hasn't anybody said that this phone has almost the same spec as the OnePlus 6T, and he's kind of on par with that phone? I guess I'll get some bad comments down below about the OnePlus 6 community, but hey, I think this phone is just as good. Alright, then we look at the face unlock. It's got, with this camera in front, it's got the face unlock feature. Again, I'm not too sure about the security level on that. But what you get from the front camera here is a 20 megapixel front camera. It's got AI portrait mode, which again, okay. It's got a selfie timer, facial recognition, it can act as a mirror, and it's got HDR imaging. Again, it's a good camera, 20 megapixels on the front camera, come on. At that price point, I would say to you, if you're still using older phones, throw it out the window and get this one, because this one's really good. Okay, then there is of course the charging and the battery. I've shown you this in the unboxing, but it's got inside, it's got a 3000 milliamp battery. I think the Mi 8 standard version has got 3400 milliamp battery, but I'd ask you to double check that. So it's got a 3000 milliamp battery. It supports quick charging. It takes me roughly I'd say 2 hours, again 2 hours plus to recharge full charge. And then of course It's got the USB Type-C connector at the back, and so forth and so forth. All right. When we spoke about the dual in the Mi Max 3 video last time, this one's also got the dual nano SIM card slot, so you could put two SIM cards in, and you can choose which one will be your primary SIM and which one will be your second. And then the frequency bands on this. Now, you can obviously go online and check all the frequency bands, but I'd say it's got all the normal standard bands and then some. One of the things they're touting on the website is that with these bands, it also comes with a GPS reader of L1 and L5. Now, I looked this up. L1 is more of a standard GPS reader, whereas L5 is supposed to be a more secure and detailed GPS reader. It depends on which region, obviously, you're living in, but it should support both of them and allow you to be able to find traffic congestion easier when traveling. I'm not too sure about that. Haven't tested that, but I will keep you posted on that one. And then it's got Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi support, 802.11a, B, G, and AC, all of those. I'm not so sure it supports the new band of 802.11ax, which is coming next year, but it should work fine. All right. And then it supports Wi-Fi display. I haven't tested that either, because what you're going to do is you're going to broadcast, I guess, to Wi-Fi on your TV, and I don't have a Wi-Fi on my TV. It supports Bluetooth 5.0 and so forth and so forth. Now, I would think that the supports different multimedia formats, and that it supports different kinds of censoring. But also, one of the reasons why I got this phone was because I wanted NFC. The Mi Max 3 didn't have NFC, and the purpose of having NFC is to go to your local grocer, 7-Eleven store, whatever, put it in front of their sensor and pay with Android Pay, which is supposedly supported here. I haven't tested it again. I want to give it a go, and of course that depends on all your regions. This phone was launched as a good phone, or flagship phone, I guess, at Xiaomi's opening on November the 11th in the UK, the London store. So I'm sure a lot of Londoners must have bought this phone. So I would think that you could use NFC back in the UK and see if you can use it to pay some of your bills on your phone. I personally haven't tested it, so I would say try your best to see if this is compatible in your region, and that's it. So that's the look at the outside. Overall, I'm going to give this a good 8 out of 10 because it's a solid phone. This titanium back, yeah, it's gimmicky, but many of the features of this phone tells me that the outside looks great, and I would like to buy it. The only couple of hiccups I don't like about this phone is that, of course, it collects dust and fingerprints very quickly. But as I've been holding it here throughout this video, you could see some of the dust over here. And of course, fingerprints will be gathered later. All right. Also, it comes with a plasticky case, as I said to you in the unboxing, which you can use to support it. Now, the reason why I would use this simply is because of this. It doesn't have a front cover. A little bit disappointed with that. But the reason why I would use that is because this phone is a bit slippery, and it will surely slip out of your hand and then crack a lot of sections in it. So I would just use this dust gathering back case. You can see how dusty it is right there. I would use this back case just as support, this rubberized support, to protect it from falling out of your hand or something like that. But overall, I'm giving this an 8 out of 10 dumplings, purely because of the price point at $500. And I think you can get it cheaper at some other places for $428 or whatever. But this is a good phone, looking at the hardware spec. Okay, so when you first turn on the phone, you got to press the red button for, I'd say, 5 seconds or so, and then the OS comes on, and of course there's the Mi logo, and then at the bottom later on it says powered by Android. When this thing first boots up, of course you'll go through the procedure of setting it up. There we go. This kind of looks like the iPhone, the kind of screen in the background. You just swipe up, and there you got your phone. Again, it has a lot of default features which we'll go over later, but this gives you an idea of what the phone looks like. This one comes already with Google Play and Google Apps installed, so there's no need to root the phone, or in any case get some ideas of how you're going to put the Google apps on. This comes on with this by default. Again, check on your region to see if this is what is available, but this one, when I bought this in Taiwan, it had many of the Google apps by default. So one of the things I'm going to do right now is set up this fingerprint reader, and you would go right now into the settings of the phone, and it's got the security status there as well, as you can see. So there you can see all the system update features of things, of course. But this thing about finding a device for security, I'm going to go over that later, because recently there's been lots of talk about, of course, Google spying on you. I should do a video about that. And also e-security and products from China safe. Obviously, as Xiaomi is a Chinese manufacturer, all phones are now manufactured in China. You get your iPhone, which is also manufactured in China. But the recent arrest of Huawei's CFO in Canada has highlighted this issue that America is concerned about their security. So you cannot get this phone in the United States, and for political reasons, Huawei is one of the chief companies that the US government has said has gone against some of its policies and laws. I will do and explain some of these things in another video, but for now we're going to do lock screen and password. Woo. So there we go. Add a fingerprint. We're going to add our fingerprint, and we have to remember a pattern, a pin, or a password. Let me just try the pin. I'll take it out of view mode right now and enter a pin. Of course, it will come up with this warning, remember your password. Alright, and then you have to read it and say, got it. So I'm going to enter my pin off screen here for a sec. It's got this haptic feedback here. And then I'll click continue to confirm my pin. And then I'm going to click OK. And here it says add your fingerprint. Make sure both your finger and the screen are clean. Well, I hope so. There we go. Press the screen and lift your finger after the feel vibration. Repeat several times. Here we go. So it's actually trying to read. Make sure the surface of the screen. Try recording your fingerprint again. My goodness, this is the third time. Oh, move your finger a little. Move your finger to record all parts of your finger. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm going to hold two hands now because obviously this is becoming an issue. So it's saying back. All right, so it couldn't add the fingerprint on the first go. Now, is there something wrong with my fingers? Let me see. Or should we try the thumb? The left, right thumb? The left thumb? The right thumb? Let's find out. Okay, now this is because we're an open book, so we're going to try again. I'm going to lock the screen quickly, and I'm going to try and clean the phone first of a sec. Hold on. All right, now I think I've cleaned the phone. Oops, got to enter a password now. Hold on. Okay, so there we go. Let's try this fingerprint reading again. Password time again. All right, so it says again, add your fingerprint. Make sure both your finger and the screen is clean. My finger is clean, I think. So you can see me doing this several times, right? It's got this haptic feedback, but it's really not registering my finger. And why would I want to use any other finger than the thumb? Make sure the surface is clean. How many times have I done this on screen for you guys? Look. Let me hold the phone properly again. There we go. And now we're going to try again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's not working, folks. It's not working. Okay, you know what they say. Third time's a charm. So we're going back into the settings. We're going back into lock screen and password. Add fingerprint. My password quickly. All right, add your fingerprint. Make sure that you both and your fingers are clean. I'm not going to use my finger there, put my finger in my mouth and clean it quickly. And now let's try. Several times here, folks, several times. Again, for scientific purposes, this done. Goodness, fingerprint 1 done. How many times is that? So, fingerprint 1 has been added. My data has been sent off to China for verification to see if it can be replicated and used for other things. Sorry, I'm lying. That just doesn't happen. But that took a long time. So, now we're going to see if this thing really works. You can do fingerprint payments. My goodness, look at that. All right, so let's test it, shall we? Bam. Now, as you can see, or maybe you can see, there is kind of fingerprint thing there. Can you see that? Can you see that? All right, I'm going to press again so you guys can see. Bam, turn it, fingerprint. Oh, and it unlocked. It unlocked pretty fast. But do you normally walk around with your phone holding two hands like that? Not really. I'm going to lock it again, and I'm going to do it normally. One hand in my hand. And just press unlock, and it didn't work. See? There it did. So, this was a live test. I've just turned the phone on. I haven't used fingerprint sensing before, or fingerprint reading, whatever way you want to call it. You can see how long it took me to add my fingerprint. And I'm testing again this to see. Oops, there we go. Now, what happens is that you really got to put your finger down. Okay, you really got to put your finger down to unlock it. Now, if you see, just like the OnePlus 6T, it has this little shiny thing here as you want to scan. And then it's saying try again. So, after the third time, fourth time lucky maybe, it worked. What am I going to give it a score? I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Because it took me 3 bloody times to try and fix this fingerprint scanner. Should it take that long? I don't know. This is the first time I'm scanning my finger, so I don't really know, and I didn't use it on the Mi Max 3, so I don't know. Fingerprint payments, let's see that. Fido and what? Fido? Fido? Is that a character? Or IFAA? Don't know any of them, as I haven't used any of them before. Fido is a character, I think, and IFAA, I haven't heard of that either. I will just find out more information and get back to you on this. But yeah, there we go. It's got the lock screen with my fingerprint. Let's try it one more time to see if it really works. It's got the little thing there and goes bzzzt. Nope, did it work? Nope. And it unlocked. Now really, is that quicker? You decide for yourself. I'm gonna use one hand here because basically we all walk around with one hand. We don't, we walk around with two hands, but we use one hand on our smartphone. So I'm not gonna hold the phone here and really go for the unlock feature this way, which I'm sure is fast. I walk around holding my phone in one hand, and I should be able to unlock it with one hand. And there it worked. Okay, so the next thing to test is the facial recognition. Will that take 3 times on my smug little face? Let's find out. Okay, there we go, it's unlocked perfectly. And now we're going to go into settings again and go to lock screen and passwords, add face data. Now confirm my password again, just so you know. It says there, security issues. Face unlock is less secure than a PIN, which I just used. Password or pattern. Your device might be unlocked with your photo, as well as by people or objects with similar appearances. Make sure all parts of your face aren't covered by objects and are clearly visible. Your face should be well lit as well. What, should I put it in a powder room or something? Right, next. It's looking for my face, and there you go. Added successfully, folks. Turn on screen to unlock device using your face data. Done. Now, that was quicker. That was much quicker than the fingerprint reader. So, let's check this out. It says they allow face unlock when screen lights up. Nope, I'm going to do that right now. But let's just see if face unlock is working. 1, 2, 3. I put my face there. It didn't work. Didn't work again. So, I'm thinking that you're going to click the power button. And bam, it unlocked, folks. My smug face just unlocked my phone. Let's try that again. It didn't work. And why? Because I didn't press the power button. But if I press that button, it works. So you still got to do something like 2 clicks to get things going. You got to click it there and then enter a password. That's one option. The next option is to read it with your fingerprint. That was kind of one click or one action because the screen was dark and you can just click into your finger like that. And then the second option is with your face. So you gotta click the power supply, look at it, and it unlocks. Now, which one is faster? I would think if the fingerprint scanner is working, the fingerprint should be faster because it takes less clicks. Look, the phone is dead. Here we go. Unlocked. All right, that's just one click. Now, with face, you gotta click the power supply, look at it, and it unlocks. That's 2 clicks. With the password, you gotta click the power supply, swipe up, and then you gotta enter your details. That's 3 steps. So you can decide which one is okay for you. Personally, I'm going for the face unlock. Why? Because it's faster. That's just me. It's faster. So you decide, folks. I'm not too happy with the imprint finger reader. We're going to test this in the dark to see if it works. And you decide for yourself. Let's test facial recognition mode in daylight. It's a little bit of a cloudy day here today, but let's try it anyway. Screen up, nothing. And boom. I didn't even have to show my face and it showed up. Let's try that again. Partial face recognition, it seems. So let's try fingerprint scanning in daylight mode. Pretty much of a cloudy day, but let's try it anyway. As predicted, nothing's happening. Let's try this again. Okay, maybe it could be because I was putting it in recording mode in the wrong area, but let's try this again. Fingerprint scanner, in-screen fingerprint scanner in daylight mode on a cloudy day. Maybe it's got something to do with me not being able to put my finger in the right place and recording at the same time. Let's try this again. Alright, it worked. So not as fast as just turning your phone on or looking at it on your face, but it works if you just put your finger to it in the right place, I guess. Alright, and you got to apply some pressure, it seems.
Okay, so next we're going to test the fingerprint scanner using a synthetic glove. Maybe you're a doctor or a nurse and you need to use this phone while you're at the hospital or on duty, and you need to actually have a synthetic glove, you need to wear a synthetic glove, and how else can you unlock the phone but with your finger? So let's try it with a synthetic glove. Alright, first we have to deactivate any face scanning. So to show you that we're only going to use the fingerprint scanner, go to settings, lock screen, manage face data, enter the password, and then we're going to unlock using face data. We're going to deactivate that, move back and manage fingerprint, password again required, and we're going to use the fingerprint 1 that we created. And we're going to use that to lock screen. And now we're going to test it with a natural hand again, just to see that it works. So there's the lock, fingerprint. And there, it unlocked with the finger. But now I'm going to try the synthetic glove. This is me fitting the glove on. Lock the phone again. Put the glove on properly, so it looks like I'm really putting it on. Lock the phone. Now let's try unlocking with a synthetic glove. Okay, it's not working. Still not working. Still not working. And I think after four attempts, it brings out the emergency password. So I enter the password with the glove on, and it unlocks. Okay, so as you can see, it's having a hard time recognizing the fingerprint under the glove, synthetic glove, and it won't work. So this wouldn't be handy for doctors trying. So it didn't really work with the synthetic glove. I would give it a score out of 1 dumpling out of 10, because it was able to allow it to show the scanner, just didn't work. Next we're going to try it with a winter glove. As you can see, I've put on a nice warm winter glove. It's actually a green glove. It looks like it's grey in this illustration. We're going to pick up the phone and we're going to try it with a winter glove. And clearly, after several attempts, it's not working. So if you're going to use this phone during cold winters and you need to wear a winter woolen glove, and this fingerprint scanner is not for you. Okay, so next we're going to test the lock screen under low light conditions for the fingerprint reader and the facial scan. Let's turn on the facial scanner as well. So now they're both on, and we're going to try it under low light or no light conditions to see if it works. Okay, so really in total darkness, let's try the fingerprint reader. And surprisingly, it was able to unlock the phone in no light conditions. Let's try that again to be sure. It unlocked again. So obviously in low light it works pretty good, or no light, so to say. Okay, one more test just to be sure. I've unlocked face data scanning, so it won't look at face data, but let's try the low light fingerprint scanner again. And it seemed to unlock under low light or no light. Okay, so we're going to activate unlock using face data. And then we're going to turn the fingerprint reader off. It says lock screen, we're going to turn that off. Okay, we're going to lock the phone. And now we're going to try facial recognition in low or no light. That seemed to have happened blistering fast. Let's try it again. And as you can see, I just tilted the phone a little bit onto my face and you could see it unlocked. One more time for good measure. So there you have it, folks. It worked perfectly under no light, low light conditions for the fingerprint reader and the face unlock. Okay, so we're going to look at the camera now. All what you have to do is just click the camera icon to get into camera settings, and by default it goes into photo mode. So they're just similar to the Mi Max 3, which I reviewed. There are certain functions within the photo camera app which are the same. There's short video, which takes a 10-second video of whatever short video you want to create. There's video, which is continuous play. There's photo, which takes a normal aperture and image photo. There's portrait mode, which does a front image picture. There's square mode, if you ever need to take a square picture. Panorama mode, which for panorama modes. And manual allows you to toggle a lot of things. And here you're able to toggle the lens to be wide or telephoto lens. You're allowed to set the ISO level. There's auto, 100, 200, all the way up to 3200. I usually set it as auto. Then there's S, and there's auto mode for that as well, and that's the shutter speed. So you can go up as far as 32 seconds. The fastest is 1 of 1000 seconds. I usually set that as auto. F, various tweaks you can make here. I usually set that to auto as well. And WB, which is for different conditions, you can set that as auto as well, but they give you the options above there, so you can tweak all the settings. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail with that, because that's not a it's not actually functionality we're going to use, but I will show you demonstrate some pictures to show you what some of the stills look like and what does video mode look like. So let's look at those cameras. Over here is the front-facing camera, and you can see it over there. That's a 20 megapixel camera at f stop 2.0, and the sensor is over there. Alright, it can do video at 30 frames per second, and the rear camera does video at 4K at 30 frames per second. Alright, let me just take this casing off, cover. Alright, there are two cameras at the back. They're both 12 megapixel cameras with a flash in the center. And it looks, I know, you're trying to say it looks like the iPhone, right? But it's not. So they're both 12 megapixels. The top one I think is at f1.8, and the bottom one is at 2.4 with optical zoom. So far, I've really enjoyed the sharpness of the images on this phone. I'd say it's got one of the best cameras in the market at this price point. Oh, and if I forgot to mention, I bought this phone for roughly under $500, US dollars that is. Alright, and I think it's a good price and a good bargain, because what you're getting is not a bad phone. Yes, it's on par with the OnePlus 6T, which is selling for $550. But if you can get your hands on one 6T or 6T McLaren edition, then you can settle for this one. And now you're going to see a couple of photos I took with this camera, and you'll also be able to see some of the videos. And look out for the snake in the one video. While I was taking a video along the river, I was unaware that 10 meters ahead of me there was a snake. And the lady on a bicycle only notified me later. So you'll be able to see that in one of the videos. But I'm totally impressed with the camera, as it's really a good camera. The next thing we're going to look at is the sound quality of the Mi 8 Pro, and to do that I have downloaded a audio file onto the phone And so let's try and access that right now. I'm going to go into Tools, I'm going to go into Downloads. And here's something interesting that just popped up. It says, granting information. In order to use the basic features of this service, you must agree that Xiaomi will collect, process, and use your personal data. Refer to our privacy policy to learn how we collect and process personal data. Selecting Agree means that you've read and agreed to our privacy and user agreement. Wow, that's quite a statement. So whatever I put in the downloads folder, Xiaomi will know about. It's not only Google, it's Xiaomi as well. Let's agree for Cameo's sake. Okay, so we've granted the authorization successfully, and there's no files in the downloads folder. Let's go and search for this in the file manager. Apart from all the images there, I've got an audio wave element there. It's going to select what to open it with. I'm going to choose the music icon. I'm also going to allow music to access photos, media, and files on this device. And now it's going to play. So is this at full volume? It will play even when the thing is locked. So let me enter the password quickly. Alright. Nope, that's not full volume. This is full volume. So as you can see, that's around about 5%. I'd say the sound quality is pretty good on this phone. At 50% there. Now I'm going to try and cover the USB, covering it up a little bit, and the sound's been a little bit cushioned. And I close that whole area up with my finger, as you can see. Sound is still coming through, but not at a high pace. But if I put my hand in front of the USB 3 folder, sound is kind of muted a little bit. Now I'm going to add the dongle that came along with it to see if it changed the sound. Put it in, and there is still sound playing, even though I don't have the headphone jack inside yet. It's still playing externally. Sound quality is excellent as far as I'm concerned. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. The Mi 8 Pro came with all the normal bells and whistles of software that comes with a Xiaomi phone. Because this one is outside of China, it already comes packed with Google, the Google apps from the App Store. So if you go in there, you can choose all the Google apps, and you're free to download stuff from the Play Store. There's the weather app. I'm going to deny that for now. There's a gallery which will show all the images. There's Chrome, which will allow you to browse. So here's some warnings which has been popping up on as I've been booting up this phone. It says screen ratio issues. This app is allowed to run in full screen mode, which may cause it to be displayed incorrectly. You can change this in settings, full screen display. Alright, I want to see that again because I'll do some more receipts later, and you can actually look. It brings the news pretty easily, and I think some of the items are pretty good. So scrolling, I think, is excellent, like I mentioned before, and stocks set to open higher as Wall Street tries to bounce back from Monday's steep sell-off. So if we just click into that, it will load everything pretty fast. Look how snappy and fast that was, just to load things in. And scrolling through is pretty good as well. There's a bit of a delay, but otherwise it comes through clearly. Now if I was to play that video on top, let's check the speed of that thing.
volume is expected to be thin as many traders are still away this week.
Okay, so let's pump up the volume here quickly.
Stock sold off sharply
That's
on
it.
Monday and what
More or
was
less
the
full
market's
volume.
worst performance
Now let's go into full
ever
screen.
on Christmas Eve. The Dow dropping more than 600. The S&P 500 index closed in bear
Try and
territory.
close the speakers.
That means it's down 20%.
But it's still pretty
from
good.
its most recent highs, a steep fall there. The Dow and S&P are on pace for their worst December ever. Oil prices are rebounding today after hitting their lowest level since June 2017. The move comes on perceptions. The slide in prices since October has been overdone.
Okay, so there you go. The quality, like I say, is pretty good. I have nothing. I would give this, of course, browsing capability, video watching things, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. There is a little bit of a huff at the end, but I think it's nothing to complain about. Alright, and then there's, of course, themes, which allows you to set your themes. This is normal with any Xiaomi phone. Here's another thing, security. Now, similar to before, granting authorization. In order to use the basic features of security, you must agree that Xiaomi will collect, process, and use your personal data, including information about the ways you use security features. Example, mobile data usage stats. Oops, info about malware. As well as basic info about your device. Basic? Is it really basic? And other types of information specified in our privacy policy. Alright, I'll agree to that later, because of course I have to test for scientific purposes, but this is the security app by Xiaomi. And you can basically go through all these features. I will cover software in a later video. And then these are the tools that Xiaomi brings with it. It's got context, calendar, clock, recorder, screen recorder, feedback, scanner, downloads, and compass. I like the screen recorder because obviously you don't have to go download one. There's one already there. And then of course there's the scanner as well, if I allow it. And what the scanner does is it allows to do QR code scanning, business card scanning, and document scanning. So I think that's also a good feature. And then in the second screen, there's the calendar, the file manager, Mi Drop, which is similar to Dropbox, Cleaner, which clears the cache out of your system, and then there's music. That's similar to Apple and Google Music. Mi Video, which I think is similar to YouTube. Notes, settings, more apps, and that includes Facebook, so you're allowed to use Facebook and iReader, and of course the other bloatware, bookings.com, the MIUI forum, and of course the Mi store where you can buy. I have not seen any advertisements on this phone as of yet. In other words, some people have said that when they've used the MIUI software, they've seen ads when browsing. Well, that's obviously normal. You will browse if you don't have an ad blocker. But they've seen ads before on the UI. I haven't seen it yet. And I will report if it does come about. But I haven't noticed it yet. So anyway, those are just the normal settings. And of course, at the bottom you have your dialer, your SMS or text messaging, your browser from Xiaomi, and of course the camera app. When you open the camera app, of course, like I've said before, there's a lot of other features and settings you can go over. There's settings that has a timer, tilt shift, straighten, group selfie, and of course beauty. When you use the group selfie, the camera will take multiple photos and then create a short, oops, what was that about? It will take a shot where everyone looks best. Oh, well, let's hope I look best when that's done. Alright, I've explained that earlier on. And the last thing we need to do before you run anything else here is just to test the gameplay. Alright, so let's see if the gameplay is any good. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Oh, goodness. Pass and move. As you can see, I'm hopeless at this. As you can see, I'm still hopeless at this. Bam. Oh, I actually stuck in goal. And there you can see, that's me. That's me with the game. I'm going to exit because I'm... So this is me in a F1 car apparently. As you can see, the graphics are pretty good in this game. And the sound too. Ooh, I went off screen there. Oops, how do I reverse out of here? Oh, they put me on track again. What? What's that? The drag reduction system is available. Tap DRS button to reduce the drag. Alright, there we go. Now you can see my hand is holding it on the side here, and yet the sound is still pretty good. Ooh, I'm not too good in the corners. Yeah, I wish it was just a straight road. During the tutorial, F1 car is full assist mode, so don't worry about braking. You can still brake even more by pressing the braking area on the screen. Alright, let's try that. I'm trying to hold it in the camera view. DRS has been enabled here, folks. I'm at top speed. As you can see, I'm going full on. Oh boy, I need to brake. Oh, went off. So the finish is here. I didn't win the game, but there you go. Nice try. And that was my time. Oh, no wonder. I was riding against Romain Grosjean. Anyway, so there you can be able to see the gameplay. Alright, so my final Dumpling score for this phone, the Mi 8 Pro, is that I'm going to give it a good 8 out of 10. And the reason for that is that apart from the fingerprint reader or scanner, which is really poor, and the battery not excellent, I think everything else from the phone is really good. The back is a little bit tantalizing. The screen is really top-notch. The camera is excellent. I mean, look at that. The camera is really great. And video is great too. Some of the functionality is great. I would give it a good score of 8 out of 10 purely because for the price point comparison. Now, I don't usually do it like all the other guys, the benchmark levels and all this other crap. I just go on how I use the phone, and I think I used the phone quite a bit and really enjoyed the use of it. And it's a solid phone with solid specs, and because it's got a Snapdragon 845 chipset there, similar to the OnePlus 6T and the Pocophone F1, I would put this in the same bracket. The Pocophone F1 is most probably miles cheaper, but this is more of a steady phone. I'd put this as a mid-range phone, and not a flagship phone, but a mid-range phone, and therefore I think it's a good geeky phone. Security-wise, it's a security leak. But if you're concerned, not too concerned about that, get the phone and use it as your daily runner and see what you can get from that. Once again, I give it a good Dumpling score, and hopefully you buy one. because I'm using this and really enjoying it. All right, so please like, subscribe, and hit that button for notifications, so you stay up to date for anything that I come out with. It's coming out irregularly, but hopefully in the new year we'll have more stuff coming out. And this is my last video before 2018 ends, so I'm going to wish all my subscribers a happy new year, and let's see what Android has in the future. Signing out, and peace.